Hello, everyone, and welcome to this workshop, which is how to meet minimum Canvas requirements for, oh, wait, no, it's not. I had a whole series of jokes about how the pandemic, oh, no, we're doing that, or air quality from fires, oh, no, we did that just a couple of years ago, or maybe a flood, oh, no, it's been about 28 years since we've had a flood that's closed part of campus. But I don't need to make those jokes because as I put in my changed workshop description, the time is now. So I will start with a screen share. I've got a short presentation that I am going to show you, and most of I think what we're going to do is support each other and talk each other through a stressful a time that we're all in. So first of all, let me say a welcome to this session. Let me say that again. I'm Greg Beyer. I'm your distance education coordinator, and I am really grateful that you have chosen to spend some of your valuable time, especially your flex obligation, with me at this workshop. And I think for this workshop, among all the ones that I've done this flex, it's most important that I say the following. I want to extend a special welcome to the faculty who have joined us recently. Those of you who have been around for longer, who were here when the pandemic first hit, you have gone through this before, right? We had the sudden switch to remote teaching and learning back in March of 2020. We have faculty who are new to our organization, new to the college, and they are being hit by a double whammy. And if some of you are in here, then I think, will probably recognize this. Not only are our new colleagues joining us in the midst of a pandemic when we can't be in person together and make the kinds of connections that can help some of us get through the rough times. I remember those connections when I first started. They also are joining us in, oh my gosh, we got to switch to fully remote teaching in just a couple of days. So I want to let you know that I have special empathy and compassion for what you guys are going through. And this actually is my first time switching to remote teaching and learning, even though I've been a distance ed coordinator for 20 years now. When we last did this in March of 2020, I was serving as the Academic Senate president. So my switch to remote teaching was dealing with a different set of issues than working directly with faculty who are doing this. So I want to share that with you. And those of you who have been through this before, I hope that you feel comfortable sharing your questions and comments as we go through the topic today. And so let's see, and I'm going to mix a presentation and demonstration. I'm going to pause every so often to make sure that you all get an opportunity to share what's going on with you. Please don't hesitate to use the chat. Let me pull it open from my view. To use the chat to share your experiences again and ask questions. I'm going to pause periodically to deal with those. I am recording this presentation, and I'm going to try to make this recording reusable for all of us. We are officially working remotely, almost all of us, through the end of January. It's not hard to imagine that we will be doing this for longer than the end of January. But today, with the kind of topics and questions that I'm going to bring up, I'd like us all to focus on just the next 2 weeks, just what we can control. It's especially an important part for the semester for our students because they too are experiencing this transition. They too have spent the last 2 years now, coming up on 2 calendar years, dealing with varying levels of learning online and all the other pandemic-related stresses that they've been going through. One of the things that I remember saying as an Academic Senate president, I felt this as a teacher because I did teach through the pandemic, is that we who are in this position of leadership and responsibility, we kind of have an obligation to set the stage and set the right tone for the people that we lead. So that's you with your students in the classroom. If you happen to be a committee chair or have other leadership positions, you've got that opportunity and that obligation, I think, as well. The folks that we serve, they will do better. They will persevere better through this if we can lead them with serenity and calm and all that thing. And that's a hard thing to do when the same stressors that are affecting our students or our coworkers are also affecting us. So I want to share my awareness of those things. And I hope that after today, as you go through the next couple of weeks and even the rest of the semester, perhaps, don't hesitate to contact me as your DE coordinator, and I'll do what I can to help. Okay. So, yeah. Let me go to my first. This is what I was going to cover in this workshop when it was about the minimum qualifications. We have a contractual obligation to use the learning management system. We're on Canvas. We have that obligation. It's under a contract that we have to use it. There are 3 specific requirements. We have to provide our contact information. We have to post our syllabus, and we have to require students to visit our course. Those requirements are there so that we can be ready for a sudden switch to remote operations. So hence my new title, hence my new workshop. I'm going to quickly go through the first 2, do a demonstration in a Canvas course so you can see what that looks like. And then I'll pause for questions to take a break. And then I'll move on to some additional topics that I have prepared for today. So in the Canvas course that's created here at CRC, every course that gets created has a default course shell. It's called a branding tool, is what Instructure calls it, and it has very minimal information. The only thing that is interactive that's built in, it's actually on the modules page. There is an assumption of risk waiver that our students have to sign if they are doing anything that is potentially risky. So those of you that teach science labs, you are used to your students signing this form every semester. Those of you that teach athletics, if you have students, if you're a coach or if you're teaching kinesiology, I know that coaches do this. I believe that our activities classes the students have to sign those waivers as well. And when we made the switch to because of the pandemic a couple of years ago, we decided it was going to be easier to put that assumption of risk waiver online, so it's there already. So if you're not teaching a class where you need your students to sign a waiver, and I think you already know that, that's something that's part of becoming a professor in those particular disciplines or for those particular classes, you can safely ignore this. And the best way to do that is to unpublish the module. So there's a little green button here. It's got an arrow, a check mark, that is on the modules page. And if you unpublish that, then students won't see any of the material that's on this page. So that's kind of a little quick thing that I want to share. I don't know how commonly known that is. I haven't heard about a lot of issues with the assumption of risk waiver. But then again, for the prior 2 years, I was academic senate president. So I had a successor who was here, and that person would have dealt with that. So again, just that little quick thing. But let me go back to the contact information. On the default homepage for Canvas at CRC, it's pretty simple. In fact, we prompt you for your contact information on the homepage. So here's what I would do, and I was going to show this in that workshop, is click the edit button on the homepage. And I'm going to get rid of all the information except for that contact information, because I'm focused on meeting minimum requirements, right? So here's my name. I have an office on campus. I think it's T109, although I haven't worked there yet. Here's my email. And my phone number, that's my campus phone number. And I don't get paid to hold office hours, so I don't hold them. And then I'm going to hit the save button, and boom, I just met step number 1, right? Step number 1 was provide your instructor contact information. The second step, post your syllabus. We all have to provide our division office with a copy of our syllabus. I think it's actually in state law, so it's even more than district policy or contract or anything. And Canvas has a syllabus link, so I'm going to go to the syllabus link here, and I'm going to click the edit button. I'm going to give myself an insertion point inside the rich content editor, and then I'm going to select the icon to upload a file. So that's here on the, it says the documents icon on the rich content editor toolbar. I'm going to say upload documents, and I got to go find a syllabus now. Oh, I should have been prepared. Hopefully I can quickly edit this out. If I do any editing in the recording. And I'm going to go grab a syllabus from one of my classes this semester. So this will take me a few seconds. You can't see this probably because I've got a different, okay, I hit download, there we go. Okay. So coming back to our window, again, I'll read you my steps so I make sure that I have some better continuity here. What I did was inside Canvas, I went to the syllabus page, I selected the edit button, gave myself an insertion point, selected the link in the Rich Content Editor toolbar to upload a file, selected upload document. From my desktop, I'm going to drag and drop this file, and I'll hit submit. And there it is. I'll click update syllabus, right? So I've just uploaded my syllabus to my Canvas course. I put my contact information on the course homepage. In my class, I teach history, so I don't have to worry about the assumption of risk waiver. So I went ahead and I hid that module. I unpublished it for my students. So I've met those first two goals. Today we're going to do the third one. That's going to come with what we're doing. But I'm going to go ahead and pause here and see if there are any questions. And for those of you using Zoom, so I'm going to show you and demonstrate this, what I'm going to talk about later for recording lectures and making sure that if you record your lectures, the recorded lectures are more easily consumed by your students. Then the best thing to do is as you take a break in your lectures is to hit the stop button on the recording. I need my buttons.